It's been rocking since 1988, helping people check out amazing food and awesome art in Wilmington. Hey there, I'm Jackie Ferris. This week on the 302, we're talking about none other than Wilmington's Art Loop. Get ready to hop on board. The 302 has got something to show you. Welcome to Wilmington City Hall, where we're going to find out all about everything that's happening in the arts and culture scene, specifically by talking about the Art Loop. And if you want to know anything about arts and culture, you got to go to the Director of Cultural Affairs, Tina Betts. Tina, thank you so much for coming back on the 302.
It's very good to see you again, Jackie. It's been a while.
It has been, but we're going to visit you much more in the future.
Fantastic.
So there's going to be a lot of people out there who have heard about the Arts Loop. Maybe they don't really know what it is. I know that it started back in the 80s. So tell me, how did it start and what is it?
It's a self-guided walking tour of galleries all around the city and some outside of the city. You can actually go outside of the city. There are some spaces that exhibit on the Art Loop. So it's a self-guided either walking tour or driving tour, however you get there, of visual art spaces. And then these spaces are some traditional spaces like art galleries. The Contemporary down at the riverfront is one of our galleries on a regular basis. And then we have gallery space such as this, the Reading Gallery right here in the lobby of the City County building. So folks, can take our shuttle, or they can walk around downtown, stop in some of our restaurants or some of our drinking places to imbibe a little bit as they're going from gallery to gallery.
So how did you guys come up with the concept for this? I know that it's decades old and it's tried and true, but it really is a way to get art intertwined with the community.
It is. It's a way for us to do a number of things. To support our visual artists, number one. Every now and then we will integrate some performances that complement the art exhibit at the various locations. And also to get people out and about downtown, especially in the good weather, in the springtime and the summertime and the fall. Seeing people outside going from place to place up and down the street, especially in downtown Wilmington and on the west side of Wilmington, it's just a beautiful thing. It promotes our businesses, our small businesses, our restaurants, also some of the galleries that exhibit, for example, the Grand. When folks go to see that exhibit, they could also find out what's happening at the Grand. So we are ticking off a lot of boxes. People who haven't been to downtown Wilmington in a while will use the Art Loop as a way to become reacquainted.
So if someone says to themselves, okay, well, I want to check out all the different art venues, maybe get a little dinner, is this something that you plan for a weekend? When does this happen?
It happens on the first Friday of every month, almost. The first Friday. For example, in the month of April of 2023, because the first Friday is Good Friday, that it would be moved to the second week. So, folks go online to our Art Loop website, they can find out when the next Art Loop is actually taking place. But in general, it's the first Friday of the month. And a lot of people refer to it as First Friday in Wilmington, or the Art Loop, or, it has several different names depending on when it is you became aware of it happening. But it is the first Friday of the month, typically.
Now, do you attend every Art Loop every month and just to kind of see how things are going?
I try to show my face at least a gallery or two. It's interesting, and because it's difficult to get to everybody that's on our list every month, because there are, sometimes dozens, like 30 different galleries that you can go to. So it is very, very difficult to do all of them. What people normally do is they make a plan. and they decide that they will go to this area of the art loop this month. And because, again, typically exhibits stay up for more than 1 month, the next month folks will go to a different group of galleries.
Sure.
So it gives an opportunity to move all around the city if you want to. I mean, there are times when I've gone to a gallery opening on the first Friday, and I'm there for the entire evening.
Because sometimes the exhibits are just worth
Yes.
standing in front of. Yeah.
Exactly. Or there are lots of things to see, sometimes things to do. So you get engaged, and before you know it, it's 8 o'clock, 8:30, and you have to wait until the next month to take in additional galleries.
That's amazing. And I would imagine that people probably talk about planning. Maybe one night you could do contemporary, maybe the next art loop you could do, neoclassical.
Exactly.
And just kind of like mix it up. It's really kind of like a way to educate yourself in a fun way.
It actually is. And a lot of times people will do certain areas of the town. They may go to the west side loop and then the downtown loop, and then, or maybe they revisit the downtown loop the third month if an exhibit doesn't change. Mm-hmm. So it just depends. And when we put out our information about the various exhibit, it says pretty much how long the exhibit will be in place.
So you can kind of plan and say, I want to see this one first, but I really want to see that one.
Right.
Yeah, so it gives people an opportunity.
Or I have to see this one this month because next month it won't be here.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
when we come back, we're going to talk about the business side of things for the art loop. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jim Blackwell, the curator of the Seaford Museum, and history comes to life on the 302.
Welcome back. We're learning all about Wilmington's Art Loop. I'm here with the Director of Cultural Affairs, Tina Betts. Now, Tina, let's talk a little bit about the businesses. It's one thing for folks to go and see these galleries, but, businesses really must be getting a boost out of this.
Yeah, that's one of the goals of the Art Loop, is to have people come to the galleries, which of course are businesses. There are many businesses also, but then also to take some time to take in all of the other wonderful amenities that we have in downtown and also in some of our neighborhoods where we have just fabulous restaurants. I mean, high quality restaurants. There are, other places that folks can go to just enjoy an entire evening out, either before they do the Art Loop or after the Art Loop to make it a late night.
Now, this really must be an economic driver because you've got a lot more businesses than you did back in '88 when this started. So are they doing like special menus to go with some of the exhibits or just for the night itself? What do restaurants do to accommodate folks coming down?
Well, we encourage restaurants to do exactly that. And there are some restaurants who are galleries. They are actually on the Art Loop. So it is not unusual for a restaurant or two to be on the Art Loop gallery. And what we also encourage folks to do is on opening night on that first Friday to not just put up artwork and which is sufficient in itself.
Sure.
However, to make it an event, to make it an occasion, to serve some refreshments, to maybe add a performance that complements the art, so that when people come, they have an entire experience, so that people can have a little nibble of an appetizer, do a tour of the various galleries, and then go out for a full dinner for a late night or for a late night drink.
Maybe you said live performances. I mean, is music often accompanied? I know when you walk down Market Street, a lot of times you'll see an artist out in front of the Grand or, further down by the college. So is that part of the whole thing, bringing in that live entertainment element?
Live entertainment is extremely important. And whether or not you do it as part of the Art Loop or as we frequently do just outside in downtown Wilmington, and there are some restaurants that do it on a regular basis also. The Stitch House is one restaurant, for example, you can frequently find live music in their restaurant space.
And they have really good burgers.
Yeah, and they have really good burgers. There you go. So you can have, beautiful live music experience, and then you can have a really good burger. So there are a lot of opportunities with menus that are varied for a really good burger, up to a high quality steak at Bardea Steak, pizza at Deco. I mean, and I'm just reeling off a couple of restaurants that come to my head, but there are so many choices. And what we hope is that when people have that experience on our first Friday, our Art Loop, that they'll come back again, even on at times when the Art Loop isn't happening, because of course these businesses are there all the time.
Sure. Now, in the list of gallery spaces, you mentioned that some of them are actually in restaurants, so it's like a 2-for-1. Do you have a couple that you can recommend to our folks in 302 land who might be saying to themselves, I want to go to this Art Loop?
Well, it changes out every month. I know some months Chelsea Tavern has participated as a restaurant. On the west side of Wilmington, it's frequently that there are restaurants that are galleries on the Art Loop. And for a list of all of the galleries, I encourage people to go to our Art Loop website or look for Out and About magazine, their online version that lists all of the galleries that participate. I mean, one of the many beautiful things about this particular event is that it can be a totally different experience every time you engage in it, with different artists, displaying a different type of art, with including a meal or, another reason to have a social gathering with your friends. So it will be a different experience every time you come, because you're the one, the person who is engaging is the one who's making the plans.
And I know these days, our lives are so busy and sometimes we don't have time to socialize with our friends. So if we know that there's one night a month on our calendar where we can go out with our significant other and just have a good time, or our friends, the Art Loop is the perfect opportunity. But I wanted to ask you, what are the businesses telling you about, what they're experiencing?
The businesses are telling us really good things about the Art Loop, because anytime you do an event that brings people to the city or to a neighborhood that wouldn't just typically come, so that they can have a diverse experience, then the businesses just naturally do better. And we are still rebuilding the Art Loop after the whole pandemic experience, when we had to shut it down, and a lot of the galleries just could not go on. So we are still rebuilding, but this is an opportunity for businesses to capitalize on this, to leverage the experiences, and they do. And we do get reports back that it is a positive experience for them.
Yeah, I know with COVID, everything had to be virtual. I know art galleries and the museums did everything online. The restaurants moved everything out onto the sidewalks, and they were limited. So now it's like, okay, 2023 is here. Let's go, right?
Yeah, and and the thing is all of the things that we were doing during the pandemic, with doing the outside dining, having music outside, so that you could do safe distancing. We've continued to do that, because what we found is having that as part of the experience for people was a good thing. So, if you are looking for a silver lining from the pandemic, it's very difficult to find.
Yeah.
But there, even the virtual live streaming, was necessary to go to that. And a lot of times we still do that, because what we found is there are folks who simply cannot get out for various reasons at a particular time, or sometimes ever. So giving them the opportunity to to have that live streaming option. So we figured out how to do that. And so we still continue to do that. Many of us still continue to do that when we can.
You have to be flexible. When we return, we're going to talk more about the Art Loop and what's happening in Wilmington. Stay with us.
I am Chase Doherty, curator of contemporary art at the Delaware Contemporary, and I like art on the 302.
Welcome back. We're talking about the Art Loop in Wilmington. I'm joined by the Director of Cultural Affairs, Tina Betts. Now, Tina, you mentioned Out and About magazine. They are a very powerful and just awesome partner for the city in this endeavor, and others, right?
Yes, they are our key partner in getting the word out about this on the website, and also also in their monthly magazine, their monthly free magazine,
Sure.
Out and About magazine, where they list all of the galleries that are participating for that month. So they are a key partner. We love you. We love you, Out and About magazine. Jerry DeFilly over at TSN Publishing. Bev Zimmerman, who also is contracted by Out and About, who used to work for the city, works with them and worked with the Art Loop before when she worked for the city of Wilmington. And we've also brought on a new partner to help curate here at the Reading Gallery, where we're standing in front of Cheryl Gross's art, and it's the Bridge Art Gallery. I call them Team Mac. It's Cheryl and Christopher Mack, and they own the Bridge Gallery art, and they co-curate the Reading Gallery with us.
And now I just wanted to call attention to Cheryl Gross's work. It's really interesting that she uses endangered species to comment on, our loss of culture and democracy. And you look at these images from far away and you think, oh my goodness, it's a tiger or a gazelle or, a gorilla or an elephant. And you get closer and you really kind of see, just the pain that she has been able to portray in this. So,
yeah, and it's interesting because you see the pain, and and because there is pain, the artwork is so beautiful that you also, you walk away with a feeling of hope.
Yeah.
Of hope, and
Call to
that's
action.
And that is one of the beauties of art, is that it can tell the story. It can tell a story that's a very painful story, but it can tell it in a way that is beautiful, reassuring, and hopeful. And that's what Cheryl has done with her art. And one of the reasons we like to keep the art up for more than one art loop and for more than 1 month is because we want people to spend time with it. And many other galleries do the same thing. I mean, our friends right across the street at the Mezzanine Gallery in the State Building, they have the same philosophy. We want you to come and spend time with the art. Cheryl Gross will be here in the month of April. I know that I think this will be airing after that, but every now and then we have the artist actually come in so that folks can have an opportunity to speak with the artist about their art, about their process, about what it is that the story that they are telling through their art, the impact that they are making through their art.
Sure.
So and a lot of galleries do that. They have the artists in-house.
Absolutely, and the caliber of artists, I mean, it's just indicative of how rich the art scene is here in the Wilmington area. I mean, you have artists that have won and shown on international scales, and it really, everywhere you go, it's just something new, and you think to yourself, how did they come up with this?
How did the artist? Well, you can have an artist give them any type of material and they'll make art out of it. I mean, it's just amazing what it is that they do. And I know that one of the things that I hear many times about our little gallery here in the Reading City County building is what a difference it makes.
Absolutely.
For the folks who work here, and also for the folks who are coming here, maybe not, to take care of something that, isn't very pleasant, but it just offers an opportunity that it's not a blank wall.
It's a bright spot.
It gives them a chance to recenter around the art. Art does that a lot of times. It pulls you in, helps you to recenter, and to change your attitude.
Now, the last time we spoke to you was before the pandemic. You were just getting started with the Urban Artists Exchange, really amazing space. And so give us an update. What's happening with that?
Oh my gosh, so much has happened over the past couple of years. I think when we were here before, the stables were just being finished, and they have been activated. We do a youth apprenticeship program in the summertime. We have artists who are renting out some of the spaces in our stables, and now we have built our amphitheater. It's like an 1,800 square foot stage platform that is absolutely beautiful. It's a piece of art that was designed by our friends over at Architectural Alliance. We've been working with EDIS as a contractor to get the stage, bring the stage home, and it is now complete. So right now we're doing site work with our Public Works Department, our city's Public Works Department, and a company that they've hired called Arcadis to actually do the stormwater management part of it that will make big changes environmentally in the neighborhood. on site and in the neighborhood and beyond, and also environmentally friendly landscaping that will offer people a peaceful urban green space to come when we are doing activities on the stage, which will be extensive. We got a $90,000 grant from the Levitt Foundation
Congratulations.
to do performances, a concert series for 3 years over there. So folks will be able to come see that and then just come over again for just some respite, to have a beautiful green space to come to look at our beautiful architectural amphitheater. It's beautiful.
That's amazing. We're going to have to come back and do a special 302 whenever everything is up and running fully, and maybe one of the concerts. So if someone wants to find out more about the art loop, the restaurants, anything at all connected to this, where do they need to go?
Well, there are a couple of places you can go. You can go to our CityFest website, which is cityfestwilm.com. You can go to the Delaware Division of the Arts Delaware Scene website. There's lots of information about what's going on in Wilmington and statewide there. And also go to Out and About. Just do a search for Out and About and check out what's going on. Out and About also manages the In Wilmington program that we have here that talks about what's happening in Wilmington. So there are a couple of different places that you can go. The Wilmington Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Right.
So I know, so the Wilmington Convention and Visitors Bureau, Delaware Scene, in Wilmington, and also cityfestwilm.com.
Excellent.
Everything you need to know can be found at any of those places.
Well, Tina, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Jackie. It's always my pleasure. And thank you so much for caring about Wilmington and everything we do here.
Well, we are called the 302.
Yes,
so
you are.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Has this show made your mouth water? I know it has made mine, but I tell you what, you're gonna want to follow us on Facebook for some extra content. And also, here's a couple of other things you might want to check out. For more information on any of the happenings for Wilmington, you can visit cityfestwilm.com. That'll do it for this week's episode of The 302. Make sure you follow us on Facebook for extra content you're not going to see anywhere else. We're going to leave you now with a beauty shot of the Brandywine River right by Hagley. Until next time, I'm Jackie Ferris. Tell them you saw it on The 302.